Okay, guys, I kind of really don't expect any of you to be here just as yet because I did say I was going to start this live at 7, but after I put in that post to do the live this evening, the Prime Minister, hi, the Prime Minister put out an announcement that he will be addressing the nation this evening, and it just so happens that it's at 7 o'clock as well. So I wanted to come on just a couple minutes earlier so that I could just do a little talk with you all before the address begins. So when the address begins, I just might, put it on to the television or my computer so that I can just stream the address for you all live one time. Because I think he said that there is going to be some important updates. But as some of you all may already know, my name is Joanne Gist and I am from the Caribbean island of Dominica. I reside in Dominica, and a lot of you may already know or may not know that we reported our first case of the COVID-19 virus this past Sunday, and it was a resident who came back from the UK. He was Dominican, I believe, and he was returning home from the UK, and we recorded our second case yesterday, Monday, the 23rd of March. So we had our first case the 22nd, our second case on the 23rd of March 2020. And it just so happens that, Dominica and Grenada were one of the only two countries within the OECS who did not have a case of the coronavirus. And I mean, what are the odds that we both reported cases on the exact same day? On Sunday was the first case in Grenada as well. So, it was a little frightening. But anywho, that was that. Our first case on Sunday, our second case on Monday. And gosh, let me tell you, there has been so much panic. Even before the announcement of the case, I'm trying to just keep track of the address, guys, because I think they said it's going to be live on the YouTube channel as well. So I'm keeping track of that. Although it's saying it's live now, so let's see if it has already started. Okay, it's saying please stand by. So as soon as it starts, I will be sure to just switch over so you all can see what he has to say. Because there has been the popular rumor that we may go into lockdown or we may go into curfew. A few other people at work said that today, so I'm not sure what's going to happen. But let me tell you, this panic shopping, I saw it on the television when it happened in all the other countries, and I'm saying to myself, that is just so crazy that the people are standing in lines one behind the other with no more than 2 inches apart. And I'm saying, but they are more likely to catch the virus that way than if they're in the store walking 5 feet away from each other. And I started seeing photos being shared from since yesterday at the pharmacies, at the supermarkets, at the money transfer outlets. It has just been so crazy. Excuse me. I'm sipping on some ginger tea while I'm speaking to you all. Actually, it's peppermint tea, not ginger. And it's so concerning to see so many people lining up and actually just crowding in one area in order to get to the groceries and stuff. I mean, I understand that they may feel panic, they may feel fear, and want to ensure that they are fully supplied and they have everything in stock to ensure that they don't have to struggle, because we really don't know how long this thing is going to last. So but in the midst of all the panic, it takes away how you would really think and look at things, because it kind of forces you to go into that panic mode, not realizing that it's putting you at more risk than if you just stay calm and just look at what is going on, so you can then make a rational decision or then make a really informed decision. Because I tell you, it's disturbing seeing the people standing in so much big groups or in all these long lines, like literally 2 inches apart from each other. I think that causes more harm than good. I think it just will make it worse than better. So, but that has been the atmosphere. It has been a little panicky, for lack of a better word. So, a lot of people have been, stressing, panicking. I said to someone at work today, it's like no one else can be sick, because the minute you see an ambulance somewhere, there is someone somewhere recording the ambulance, because everyone thinks that once you see an ambulance coming to an area, it's COVID-19. So it's like there are no other sick people. So the ambulances don't really pick up anybody else but COVID-19 patients. So, that is what the panic has kind of caused. And I can understand, honestly, what is going on in people's minds, because it is frightening. It is truly frightening, not knowing what is going to happen, not knowing how long this virus is going to last, not knowing if they're going to come up with a cure that we can just eradicate this virus and just let it be gone. So it is frightening. So, yeah. So I think now we are just waiting to hear what he has to say. I wish I would have had a few people on here so that we could just talk. That's why I kind of wanted to do this as a live video, because a lot of times when I record and edit and post, I don't get to do direct interactions with people. I only have to respond to comments. And responding to comments does not have the same impact that it can have as compared to if you're doing a live. Because if you're doing a live, you kind of speak to the person one on one, even if you're not next to each other. But whereas if it's a comment, some person might write a comment, I may not be able to reply until hours or maybe days after the comment is placed. But if we do a live and people are there, we're interacting, we speak, it makes it more real. And especially in this time while so many people are home, I figured, it's a way to take people's minds off being at home and thinking of being quarantined and stuff. So I really, really wished, I really would have liked if we had, more people here on the live, so that it would not feel like I'm still talking to myself. Because when people don't come on the live, it's basically like doing a recording, talking to myself on the camera. Just that with this case, I don't get to edit and I don't get to cut off certain things that I may want to cut off during editing. So it's kind of defeats the whole purpose. But I felt, I did not want to go ahead and just do a regular video like I have always done. And I honestly did not want to go into this whole COVID-19 videos that everyone has just been posting. Oh, hi Shakira, how are you doing, girl? Because it's a lot. I mean, everyone is already talking about COVID-19, so I really don't want to add fuel to that. But the most I can say, guys, is we have to just continue to pray. We have to just continue to remain as calm as we can, because it can be difficult. It can be very difficult to remain calm, especially in this situation, knowing the type of virus that we are fighting right now and knowing the impact that the virus is having on our economy. I mean, I was listening to the news the other day, and the president of the Hotel and Tourism Association said that that industry has already lost over $1 million in revenue. Over $1 million due to cancellations that happened and took place because of COVID-19. So there were so many cancellations that the tourism industry had already lost over $1 million. And that was sometime last week. So we can well imagine that the tourism sector is already going to see the impact of that. And the direct impact of that means that they're going to start laying off employees. Because if there is no one to fill in the hotels, then duh. So employees are going to be sent home. They're going to be laid off, or they're going to be sent home for a short period. I'm not sure however long it's going to be. So also we're going to have to think of the financial strain that is going to be now placed on a few of these employees who are now going to be sent home, and what arrangements are going to be put in place in order to allow for them to not feel stifled, about all these things. And it's frightening. It can be very frightening. So it's now 8 minutes past 7, and the live still have not started for the address by the Prime Minister, so we're still waiting. And that is a thing that I think they need to work on. So if any of you all who have contacts with the government are looking at this video eventually, that is a thing you all should work on, being on time. You say you're going to have a press briefing at 7, you sent out the message early in the afternoon, so everything should already be in place for you to start that briefing on time. Because guess what? Starting a press briefing late when you put a certain time, it causes more panic, because people start wondering if it's bad news and they don't know how to say it, so that is why they're starting late. Yeah, that is the impression that it sends, and that is the emotion that it can bring out in the listening public. It's now 9 past 7, and a 7 o'clock address has not started. It's saying please stand by. So it can be a little tricky when doing these things, so we have to be so careful, especially in this time, because people want to know that when you tell me to listen at 7, I listen at 7, and I expect that it starts at 7. Because if it doesn't start at 7, and the longer it takes, the more anxious people get, the more panic that is going to cause, because it's just not good. It's just not. And that is something I think the authorities need to look at when they put out these ads for the press briefings and the addresses, that you have to ensure that it's on time. You know that there might be technical issues, start setting up half an hour before. Start setting up half an hour before. I wanted to come on here just before 7, and I started setting up at 6:45. And I just left the screen on. All I had to do was click on the go live button when I was ready to go live. So that way you know that you make the time and ensure that you start on the time that you say you're going to start. So you decrease the level of anxiousness, the level of panic that may arise, because people already don't know what you're going to say. And starting that address late, especially knowing what is going on, and there had already been so many rumors today that we may have had a third or fourth case. So it kind of just makes it worse. So people in their minds now, they are thinking, okay, is it another case? What is going to happen? Are we really shutting down the country? It just creates too much unnecessary panic, too much unnecessary stress, too much unnecessary anxiety. Like, seriously, it's crazy. I don't know. I don't know. And it still has not started. Still has not started, so we are still waiting. But it's cool. It's cool. At least I got that 13 plus minutes to speak to you all. But let me tell you, it's a little scary. And I can imagine how people are feeling, and a lot of people seem to think that it may be because, the government didn't take proactive measures, they didn't close our borders, they didn't restrict our flights, they didn't do this or they didn't do that. Honestly, now really isn't the time to play the blame game. Right now, we have so many more things to focus on rather than play the blame game. If the government is at fault, then let's pray to God that they find it right in their conscience and do what they have to do, right? Because we really don't have the time right now to play the blame game, because at the end of the day, it's going to divide us more than unite us. And right now, more than ever, we need to unite as a country, as a Caribbean region, as the world, in order to come together and pray to get rid of this virus. it has to be a united front. So playing the blame game and blaming the government for not shutting down our borders soon enough, or blaming the government for not doing certain things soon enough, it really doesn't make a difference now. The fact is that it's already here. The past, it has already happened. So we can't go crying over spilled milk, or we can't go dwelling on what has happened already, that we get so distracted on that we don't focus on how we're going to move forward and how we're going to do things in order to move forward. And yeah, there are a few other cases within the Caribbean of the COVID-19. I mean, even St. Lucia declared a state of emergency yesterday on Monday. So, it's it's serious, guys. It's really, really serious. So I am not sure. And while we were at mass on Sunday, we had a nurse speaking to us, and the nurse was explaining all the different things that we can consider good practices of hygiene in order to deal with the COVID-19. And she spoke about taking off your clothes when you come from work and just putting it in your machine one time, or leaving your shoes in a designated area, or not washing your hands, just passing it willy-nilly. You have to take your time, or not wearing these extension nails, and or not doing this or not doing that. And after she spoke, I said to everyone, you know what? I used to be called paranoid so much, because there was never a day I would go to work and not take alcohol and just wipe down the entire area where we were sitting and where we would do our work. And everyone would be like, but you don't have to pass the alcohol, the cleaner is coming in a while. I'm like, but even if she's coming in a while, she's not here yet. And I have to sit here before she comes. I'm going to sanitize. And I'm saying to myself, the nurse was talking, and I said to her, I used to feel so paranoid before. And I said this to the whole congregation, actually, yeah? I used to feel so paranoid before, because I wanted to wipe down everything. I had a special spot for my shoes and this second. But now I feel so normal, because everyone is doing it now, so it makes me feel like, oh, I haven't been so paranoid after all. And what is concerning is that people are treating this personal hygiene thing like it is something brand new. I mean, that's something we learned from the time we learned how to walk. Personal hygiene, being sure to wash your hands whenever you're going to eat, or if you go somewhere and you touch something, be sure to wash your hands. I don't know, I guess my mom raised me differently, because I tell you, I would be in the kitchen cooking, and I would be washing my hand with everything that I touch. I would take the cover for a pot, put it on a pot. I would rinse the cover before I even put it on a pot. When I'm done, rinse my hand before it's just so much. And I honestly used to think of myself as being so paranoid, because I felt like I just was like this clean freak. I felt like I just had myself feeling like I needed to do this so much. But I think it is starting now. From what I am seeing, it's buffering a little bit. Oh gosh, so I just hope that this recording is not going to be buffering so much. Anywho, because this internet connection, my goodness, is terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible.
I promised you on Sunday
So
that I will be returning in short order to continue our analysis of the impact of the coronavirus on Dominica.
let's see.
Since I spoke to you last,
Let me take the phone. I'm gonna put it next to my TV.
case of coronavirus. Earlier today, I was informed by the Minister of Health that health authorities have confirmed 5 additional positive testing
Oh goodness.
associated with one of the 2 cases already under observation. This brings to 7 the number of confirmed coronavirus cases in Dominica. This means that at least 5 persons are known to have contracted the virus as a consequence of coming into contact with in one way or the other, with one of the persons who was tested positive and who would have brought the virus from abroad. Fellow citizens, on-island transmission is very serious and very dangerous. It triggers many scenarios, and we cannot sit idle and wait. The established procedure on confirmation of on-island spread is for an increasing of the level of awareness and activity. I told you on Sunday, the imported positive testing took us to level 2. Confirmed cases of on-island testing now takes us to level 3. This is unfortunate, but it is not hopeless. In many respects, such is to be expected. That is why contract tracing is super important to the process. As a consequence of our going nationally now to level 3, there are certain concomitant adjustments that will have to be made. Firstly, we do not wish as a nation to expose ourselves to the possibility and probability of additional imported cases. We need to take hold of the situation as is and manage the cases we have, both those already identified and others we suspect will surface in the days ahead. Accordingly, the issue of border protection and border control comes sharply into focus. Several of my ministers and I, along with health authorities, met earlier today with the social partners. Social partners in this regard refer to the leadership of the private sector and business community, as well as hoteliers and others involved in the tourism sector, trade union leaders, the church, both government and opposition parliamentarians, representatives of non-governmental organizations. We met as committed and concerned Dominicans, and we discussed the scenario and our options. It was agreed almost unanimously that we should move to protect our borders and contain movement to the greatest extent possible. Accordingly, I wish to announce this evening that the Commonwealth of Dominica shall suspend all commercial air and sea access to non-Dominicans effective Thursday, the 26th day of March 2020, and to all travelers, including Dominican citizens and residents, Saturday, the 28th of March 2020. This order relates to all commercial aircraft, as well as non-essential service-oriented pleasure craft. The same order of March 28th applies to ships, boats, and yachts not visiting Dominica for the express purpose of bringing vitally needed cargo and other supplies to this country. All air and sea arrivals must henceforth be granted permission to enter by the Office of the Chief Medical Officer. This suspension shall remain in effect until further notice. Dominicans abroad wishing to return home in the short term should act now to schedule travel within the time frame of this order. The same applies to Dominicans and visitors desirous of leaving Dominica. You have but a short time to do this. Movement to level 3 also carries with it ramifications for social gathering, or as it is now commonly called, social distancing. Ladies and gentlemen, the coronavirus is contagious, highly contagious. It is spread largely through person-to-person contact, as well as from droplets left on surfaces and clothing. We need to minimize the spread in Dominica. Accordingly, I am today advising that with immediate effect, all non-essential gatherings in Dominica must be contained to no more than 10 individuals. Essential gatherings for the purpose of this regulation can be defined as workplaces, supermarkets, public transportation, bus stations, health institutions, and any other as might be permitted by the Chief Medical Officer. Non-essential gatherings would therefore include restaurants, churches, sporting and recreational facilities, gyms, cinemas, nightclubs, bars, and most government offices, including the financial center and the ministries of government. I wish to take this opportunity to appeal to Dominican entrepreneurs to be innovative and creative in their response to these impositions. If persons cannot gather inside a restaurant, then introduce take-out or pick-up service. You may also consider delivery. There is no need for a cessation of business activity around the country. The issue is not the conduct of business. It is the gathering and social interaction of individuals. Therefore, I am urging you to come up with creative ways of conducting your business that will not involve persons gathering and endangering their lives, as well as those of your employees and even yourself. Employees, be wise. Wherever and however possible, prepare and pack your lunch at home. Place your order early and arrange for pickup or delivery. Do not endanger your health by congregating in large groups. This virus feeds on the spread of droplets from one individual to another. If no one is in arm's distance to you, then it is unlikely they can infect you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have said repeatedly the key to fighting this disease is the practice of good hygiene. Wash your hands frequently and thoroughly. Keep your hands from your face. Cough into a tissue and dispose of it right away. Sneeze into your elbow if you do not have a tissue immediately at hand. Please, let us minimize visits to seniors and to persons with pre-existing medical conditions. If you have to take something for granny, leave it unchecked and call and tell her it is there. Seniors, you should not put yourself in harm's way. Call for what you need and have it delivered to your doorstep. Do not hug people. Do not shake their hands. I know you love to go to church, but for the time being, listen to the service on your radio or watch it on television. Ladies and gentlemen, the measures I have outlined today and the growing spread of this virus in Dominica will have significant social and economic impact on our country. The economic losses shall be severe. All echelons of society will be affected. Employers, employees, and the dispense of social services. As a government, we will have to act to cushion the impact on the most vulnerable. We will shortly be embracing the social partners again to discuss the ramifications of all this on all sectors and interests in the country. Tonight is not the time for this. Tonight, I want us to focus on the harsh reality of what is threatening our social and economic landscape. In the days ahead, we shall discuss the fallout. Fellow Dominicans, coronavirus is real. It is a global pandemic. Nothing I have referenced this evening or implemented is unique to Dominica. Indeed, some may say we have been rather lenient in our stipulations. I have not imposed martial law because I know I have faith in Dominicans. You have weathered many a storm. I know you know when to pull together. I know you know when to fall in line. This is time for each of us to pull his or her weight. I do not want to go to Parliament to legislate and regulate behavior. But trust me, if I have to, I will. This virus can be defeated. It can be contained and eventually eliminated in Dominica. There does not have to be a single fatality associated with COVID-19 in Dominica. The government of Dominica, through the Ministry of Health, is doing all in its power to contain the spread of this disease. We shall be shifting most activities away from the area or even proximity to the Dominica China Friendship Hospital. We have in place a facility at Portsmouth that is equipped to treat patients who have tested positive. I have also commenced discussions with a provider to source a 125-bed transportable facility that can be erected in short order to house persons afflicted with the virus. Acute cases will be cared for elsewhere, but mild symptoms could be treated there. Upon our request, the government of the Republic of Cuba will be sending 25 nurses, 6 doctors, and 4 lab technicians to assist with our efforts. They will arrive on our island this Thursday. We will do all in our power to minimize the spread of this virus and to attend to the needs of those who have contracted the virus. Our healthy officials are motivated and are up to the task. This is their area of specialty, and we shall take our cue from them. Whatever reinforcements they require, we shall endeavor to provide. This evening, I appeal to service providers on the front line to rise to the occasion and bring to bear to this assignment your many years of training and practical experience. I want the wider society to salute our frontline care providers. Keep an eye out for their children. Offer to deliver a hot meal to their senior relatives and dependents. If a doctor, nurse, policeman, or firefighter is out there on the front line, they cannot be at the same time in the village attending to their loved ones. I need society to take care of essential. Dominica will defeat coronavirus. We wrestle hard barrier to the ground, and we shall triumph over COVID-19. I have every faith and confidence in you, the people of Dominica. The government of Dominica shall play its part. We are working hard to attain and maintain adequate stocks of essential items. We are working hard to ensure that all medical supplies associated with the diagnosis and management of this virus are in plentiful supply. We are working hard to ensure that Dominica's rate of spread is contained. The government of the People's Republic of China is also assisting us with much needed equipment and supplies. I urge all citizens and residents to join forces in that fight. Put away differences and unite for a common and national cause. If we join forces against COVID-19, it cannot survive. Please, let us get out into the communities and look out for our seniors. Do not make them come outside. Run the errands for them. Go buy what they need and place it at the door. My friends, please continue to monitor only the official source of news on this matter. Where there is something to say, the government of Dominica shall say it. You do not need to forward everything you receive. The government of Dominica shall keep you informed with all that's going on. I propose to speak to you again on Thursday evening. Until then, take care of yourselves. Keep your distance. Wash your hands for at least 20 seconds. And even then, keep them away from your face. May God bless you all. May God bless the Commonwealth of Dominica. And may God bless all our efforts in this united fight against COVID-19 in our country, Dominica, and indeed the world. I thank you and good evening.
Okay, so that was it. We just heard from the Prime Minister. that Dominica has now moved to level 3 in the COVID-19 plan. I think he said that we now have 7 cases, is that right? I really don't want to say the wrong thing, so I'm gonna go through this live again, please, just to be sure, because I really don't want to be saying the right thing, the wrong thing. Yes, that's what I'm checking for. Because I really don't want to say the wrong thing. I know we had 2 cases already, and I think he said that we reported 5 new 5 new cases. So we now have 7. So as of today, there were 5 additional cases of corona confirmed in Dominica. So we now have 7 cases of the virus here on island. That's a lot in 3 days. You know, I was looking at the news yesterday and saw that St. Lucia declared a state of emergency with 3 positive cases. You know, and what shocked me was that St. Lucia reported their very first case sometime last week, and they only had 3 cases and declared a state of emergency yesterday. You know, and to have gone from no cases at all to 7 cases in 3 days, that means it's moving fast. It's moving, and it's moving fast. So, you know, now more than ever, we need to just pay attention. He did say that there are going to be restrictions on flights, commercial flights, on Thursday, I believe he said. And I think people who want to leave or to come in have up till Saturday. What I will do is I will get all the information and do a separate video so that all the information can get out there, because, you know, information is essential during this time. But yeah, I have been here now for almost 40 minutes because of this press conference thingy that I streamed for you all to see. So I'm gonna go. Yes, our islands are indeed small. You know, so it's very disturbing, it's very frightening that, you know, in 3 days we went from having 0 cases, I mean, all along. Our first case was reported on Sunday, and now we're at 7. Only today we reported 5 additional positive cases, and that's a lot. That's a lot. So we're now at 7 confirmed cases of the coronavirus. So we are waiting to see what happens. The borders are going to be shut down, I think, between Thursday and Saturday. I am not sure what's going to happen as it relates to work. He did not say anything about work, although I am concerned, because, I mean, it's a lot. How can you social distance yourself if you're at work? How? I don't understand. Because the social distancing says that you should not have more than 10 people in a certain area, and you don't have to be less than 5 feet apart from each other. And I mean, how are we supposed to do that work when we're all sitting in one little office space, sitting in a little cubicle area? How do you manage that? He didn't say anything about work. I don't know, man. I don't know. So we will see what happens with that. And yeah, because you all know mama don't want to go out, catch anything and bring home to her kids, because the kids are already out of school, which means parents have to now find ways to take care of the children, because all schools are closed, daycare services are closed. So it creates that little, you know, it's a very good food on Brazil. I will research that. Thank you very much for that. But yeah, guys, it is frightening. Let me know if you have gotten to this far in the video. I mean, it's going to be very long. But let me know in the comment section below what area you're from, How has the COVID-19 affected your country? How many cases have you all reported to date? And how are you all handling the situation with the COVID-19 cases in your part of the world? Like I said in the start of this live, we have to come together, we have to unite. We can only fight we can only fight this. Let me just drink some tea. Because I have been talking for a little while, so my throat is starting to dry up. And they did say to keep your throat moist. That's one of the recommended things to fight this virus, isn't it? So yes. But guys, let me know in the comment section, how has it been in your part of the world? How many cases have you all reported to date, and how are you all going about fighting that virus? Like I said before, it is not a united effort. We all have to come together as a world in order to fight this COVID-19 so that it can be eradicated from our communities and just get this evil spirit to leave and be gone. But guys, thank you all so much for joining in on this live. All of you who came on, I will do a subsequent video so that I can put in all the information as it relates to the measures that are now going to be taken here in my country, so that you all can see, so that the information can spread far and wide. But thank you all so much for joining. I will see you all in the next one. Bye.